I'm trimming. Those are the things I made last week. And I'm not going to put a batch on here, but you have to cover these.
Oh yeah.
Okay. When I was new here about 11 years ago, I caught my finger on one of these.
Ooh.
And like,
Ooh.
I actually had to phone my husband and say, please, I didn't know you had like a first aid. And you know, I didn't want anyone to know I got hurt. Waited for him in the parking lot. So just cover them. Works really well. Okay. These nuts can really hurt you. And I want to show you because it's such a like trick. Because you've got these bands, alright? We're not going to cut them with tools. Don't do that. I've seen people do that. But you have a band which gives you such a great position so that you can get your pot centered. Very important. I always wet mine here. Okay, put it on. Give it like a little rub. And I do have to wear glasses because I will not see what I'm doing. Okay.
You're very attractive, by the way.
No, it's running the wrong way. Let's see. Sorry. I've got to check this.
There are only a couple of wheels
I know.
that will run either way.
Okay, this is one of them.
Yes, this is one of
Okay,
them.
but you just play with the buttons here. Don't get nervous. So we like the wheel for my throwing must go anti-clockwise. So when it's running the other way, I won't be able to do it. All right. And I use my finger to. So if it's touching, I can slightly feel it. Then you've got to stop immediately, and then you just push it away a little. I'm teaching myself to center where you smack it, but when I can do it,
Mine would end up on the floor.
yeah. But this works really well. So if it's all running nice and smoothly, you kind of know you have it centered. Yeah. Then you have to put your pieces on. Big tip, hold this. Otherwise, as you put this on, you're going to knock it off center. No one taught me that,
never,
I don't think.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just handy little tips. And normally I use old clay, but I'm showing off. So hold it, and you only need 3. Make sure it's still good. Now, I like using this tool, and you probably all have this, but I can show you when I do the foot. So on these, I'm not going to turn feet. I'm just going to, I'll show you. So again, keep this hand around. If you don't do that, if it does move, which sometimes it will, at least you can catch it, okay? Link your fingers. Put your tool sideways. Like these are great tools. They just need a bit of sharpening. So I normally I use a bit of sandpaper just to sharpen them. I've had them for years. So I've got this, I've got a round one. I love these. Different sizes. So this is the only time you actually use tools. So at an angle. Okay, so it's actually fun to do a foot, so I'm gonna do it. So now, straighten the tool. Let's use this one, actually. I know you all have. Got to turn the tool like this. Straighten it. There's the beginning of your foot. I'm showing you because I know it's fun. And then, just mark it. I can see it centered, okay? That's another little tip, because it's even all the way around. So now you go down and towards the center. Slow the wheel down if you're nervous. The biggest thing is to have it nice and centered. And then something I've learned is press it in the center. It's not giving, so I know I've got a bit of room, so I can take some more.
Is that how you measure how thick?
Yes, but you just got to be careful. Otherwise, you have to take a needle, and then you've got to remember to close the needle. So I think I have a needle here. So yeah. So you would take your needle. Now you've got to listen, and I can feel it's gone through. So I've got that much still. So I can put a nice foot here. But
You should know that there are two needle tools. There's the metal one, and then there's one with a wooden handle. And the one with the wooden handle has a thinner needle.
oh, right, which is probably better. As long as you cover up your holes. Because I get my mugs, fill them up with coffee. And like, so, and that was from doing this measuring.
Wouldn't the glaze seal it?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, take a sponge. So this other little way is much better. You'll actually feel it give. I've done it so often. It does work.
Vivian, wouldn't the glaze seal the little pin?
No,
pinhole?
you would think it does, but it doesn't. Because, like you say, if it's a thick needle, it's just a piece.
And you fill the hole just by rubbing it?
Yeah, I
So
can just
there's-
rub it. Yeah.
But then now you trim the part that you're rubbing it away.
Yeah, but there's no hole anymore.
Oh.
Okay. So now you round this off. But I like round. These are feet. Okay. I like them round. And then I'll go back to this. So this is all the extra clay which we need to take off. So you just angle it and go down the part. I love trimming. I like all the process. And the main thing is, because I got it nice and centered, through with it centered, trimming. Lucky when you glaze, you don't have to center the pot. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you take this off. I'm showing you all the little bits. And then give it not too hard. And if you make little mistakes like that, just put some clay in. Sorry, I haven't got my sponge. There's one in that bowl. Yep. That's mine. Yeah. Thank you. You can throw it. Good. Yeah.
The angels need you.
Yeah, so smooth it nicely. And don't forget to put your name on. I'll do it just now when I put the handle on. But I always smooth it. And then if I've got a lot of handles to put on, I cover this. It goes under plastic. Okay? I'm not too worried because it's still a bit wet. Okay. So how easy is that? Okay, same thing in the center. I think that little bit of water really helps. And don't over push it, just a little bit. So you've got to have your finger just not quite touching. That was like a trick all on its own. I used to spend hours. When I was taught, we were told to use a needle.
Yeah.
So you had all these marks on your part. Where were they? And then when I discovered I could do it with my finger, I was like,
Oh my.
yeah. We used to have like 20 lines done. Okay, all right, same thing. Now, when I finish with this, I'd put it in a bag, you know, for the next trimming session. I really don't like wasting clay. And I bought this, so I save my trimmings, nice and dry in here. So when it's absolutely dry, are you okay? All you have to do is add a bit of water. You can add more because you can always take it off and let it sit. The drier this is, the quicker it turns into slip. And at the back there, 1, 2, 3rd shelf, we have all the clays there. So if you want to make your own slip, or you know, there's not enough here, or if you want to make some for us, you can. It's not something the tech normally does, but the clays are there, should be marked. I like to have my own, you know, so it's just easier. And I still love these.
So I shouldn't quit?
No, still eat that gelato, please. I'm now storing my jewelry in there. Yeah.
Don't mix the two.
No. So you take some of your dry stuff. If you have a look there and see something's empty and you know exactly what clay this is, then you can put some of it there. And don't forget, so I've worked with all the B mixes, the one with sand, the Laguna, the Art Fark, they're actually all the same. I think the one with sand would be better for throwing, okay, especially bigger things. But it hasn't, the slip looks a little bit different, but it all fires the same, okay? And I particularly like the B mix. I like all of them, yeah. Okay, so double check. And as soon as you, if you think, oh, I don't think I'm centered, you could check this. And you'll know if you're not centered, because it'll be fat on one side, skinny on the other. Where's that tool out there? I like this one, it just cuts beautifully.
What you're showing now, can that be used if people work in porcelain also?
Yes, yeah,
So it's the same technique?
same, yeah.
Okay.
I've made quite a few porcelain mugs. I was told, oh, good luck with handles. No problem. Or mine have stuck, haven't fallen off.
I got one from her last time she was here. I picked one out because I wanted one, and I drink everything out of that. It's like, it's so amazing, handmade, a mug. There's something special about
The mugs.
It's a
yeah.
Vivian mug.
Yeah.
Vivian
very
mug,
special.
and it you hold it, and it's just got, yeah, it's pretty
Aw.
cool.
Thanks.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so now the straight part. And then this is going to be, I wasn't going to do feet, but it's nice to watch. Also, I want you to make feet. Sometimes a putt just looks better with a foot. Someone once asked me, so no, she wants her mug homemade. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I make all mine. No. She says, I don't like the foot because in the dishwasher,
Get
Oh, it
water.
gets
the water collects in here. It happens to me as well. I just give it a little shake. What's the difference?
I throw water all
So-
over the floor with that.
The foot with the cup,
Oh, yeah.
then the water can.
Oh, it can, yeah. So I don't know if I do it on a mug, but I do that on bowls. I do the foot and then cut through, yeah.
Then water
But
runs
I
off.
just thought that was, I'll always remember, that's homemade and you don't have a foot. Okay. So I showed her that I could make them like it. Let me just test it. See, now I can feel it. It's like just a little give, so no more. Also, why you want a foot is for glazing. You can just clean the foot. You can even have a bit of glaze on the side here, not too much. John, I know, he takes a little squeegee thing. Hi, hello. He takes a squeegee and he puts glaze on there. It's his thing. He likes doing that. Okay, so just clean this up. And don't forget, when you've done so many, it just looks so easy. And I've seen you sometimes, you know, sitting for half an hour trying to center the car. I know it. But, so I'll show you a quicker way, all right? So as long as you get it centered, see, can you see the clay is still a little soft?
Yeah.
It just dries so slowly. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna do the easy, no foot, I'll show you. The water first.
Homemade one.
Yeah, homemade. We'll do the homemade one.
Okay.
I just thought that was so funny. And her son agreed with her. I was like, okay. You know, the customer's always right.
That's right.
As you make holes in your tongue with your teeth, not responding.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get upset with people. I thought that was the funniest homemade. So when I first came here, I used to make lots of puddings for the family, their friends. And so I took along a pudding and I did what I always do. You buy cream, nice thick cream, and you whip it. They were like, you have to have Vivian's pudding, and she's got homemade cream. I was like, yeah, the cow in the back.
Whip it. The cow.
I was floored because they all use the can. No,
Oh, yeah.
homemade. Okay, so this is much easier. Let's make sure it's nice and centered. Angle your tool. And I always take a little bit off here. But it's this corner that is your thickest. And then you can just flatten this with the tool. So you're not going to put a foot on. And then I just take the tool and do that. That's it. Done. So,
Wow.
so especially if you're not sure how much you left, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to have to clean that, you know, for glazing. Or you can wax it.
So it wouldn't be too thick.
No. No, they're not, these are not thick. It's a little bit. So it'll be a little heavier. So I just want to show you. So if you've made and you think, oh, don't think I've got enough for a foot. Or if you make a mistake, you can just take it off. Okay, it's fine. No one's going to walk around and crit your feet. See, and it feels alright. So that's the test of a good pot. When you pick it up, it's feel a little bit lighter than what you thought. Homemade, you see? Okay, I've got like a little blob here, but I'll take it off. Okay, so now we'll do the picture.
The jug.
The jug. Okay, so same. Yeah, dry your hands because, you know, it'll slip. So let's see how this goes. Okay, you can see that's right off. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's push it over. And the paper, normally I wouldn't, do you need some water, Grace? Yeah, sure. Okay. I normally try and take the paper off. It just happens because I put a really wet pot, you know, you can see on the paper. But if it went in the clay, it won't really matter.
It should burn off.
Yeah, it does.
It'll come off when you
Yeah.
when you do the trimming.
Oh, yes, yes. But I mean, if you don't want it in the
Oh, in
trimming.
the trimmings.
Yeah. But it's not a problem. It's like mold on your clay. It's okay. Put gloves on if you worry, but just wedge it up. It's just been sitting. It's like treasured wine. That's all. Because I've heard people say, no, it's all moldy, I have to throw it away.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
you don't. And we pay a lot for clay now. So you want to, you know, look after your clay. And then you're going to be doing the new special
Well,
technique.
it's over there. People
Yeah.
have been using it. There's one inside now. You can
Okay.
see.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm gonna buy some. Those are mine.
What technique? What am I missing?
What are you saying? I mean, what are you talking about?
How to hydrate clay really
Oh,
easily.
Oh,
Yeah.
Easy and not messy.
You can do it in the buckets, because that I do that all the time. But I love that. I think,
I sent out an email. It's like 4 steps.
Yeah.
It says rehydrating clay.
yeah.
You have the email.
Okay.
What I like about it is it's totally not messy.
No. And then you can do like a small batch,
Yes.
which I think is great too. So I used to throw everything away, and I'm like, I don't anymore. I can just see the dollars.
Ka-ching.
Yeah. Okay. Let's be careful, don't squash the spout. Okay, here we go. And I can just, it's gone off a bit. Okay, let's just trim it and see. And then I showed you, so if you want to test to make sure it is centered, do the little test. Yeah. No, it's definitely not centered. Yeah, I can feel it.
First you lock it down and then you try to move it.
Well, I might have pushed it somehow. There you are, feels better. Okay. So you can't go too slow when you're trimming, like a moderate speed. Okay, and I'm gonna make a foot here. But I do like a smaller tool.
Vivian, stop for a moment. Don't move your hands.
Okay.
Put your hands back the way they were. I was trying to see where on the circle you were, on the clock, where your tool was sitting.
Oh. How do you mean?
Is the head of the tool at 9 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock?
Oh, when I'm cutting?
Yeah, when you're
Okay,
trimming.
so it's,
So you like it around 7 or 8
4
o'clock?
o'clock.
yeah, 3 o'clock? No?
No,
No?
not
No,
for,
that
not
would
for
be that
you.
way.
4:20.
No.
So you're maybe 8?
20, right. Oh, you are at 3 o'clock, okay.
It is 3 o'clock.
Okay.
If it were going the other way around and she was over here, it would be.
I am left-handed, and I
Yeah,
trim
no,
with
no.
my left hand. And I'm sitting here watching you, and I'm
Backwards.
trying to figure out where I put the tool when I'm working, and I can't figure it
You
out.
have to have it at an angle, otherwise you won't cut.
Right.
And so that you want to cut, and then you want to straighten it so you flatten the tool and move it across. So, yeah. I don't know if that helps you. Let me test it. So I can still go some more. So, yeah. I never understood the clock things.
Well, you were on time this evening, so you must know something about clocks.
So digital helps you out.
Yeah, so just, so even if it's in your left hand,
Yeah,
You
I,
have
I'm
to-
working successful, and I'm just trying to think how I do it. I can't remember.
well, remember,
But it works.
I taught you.
That's true. That's very true.
And I teach you the way I throw it. You know, I've told you Jay's not quite sure what school I went to. Not really worried. I keep saying African. He goes, oh, okay. You kind of, that's somebody teaches you, and so you do the same thing. I've tried to change, but it's working.
Not me. It's working. I'm not changing anything.
No, don't change.
So it's interesting, you do a lot of your body trimming. You start low and come up.
Yeah, always. Okay, what often happens is while I'm trimming, I decide how, I know how I'm gonna glaze it. I'm already thinking. And so if I do a set, I do take it off because I kind of know how I throw it. Here, it'll be the thickest. 'Cause, I mean, that was straight. And, yeah. And then I love doing this. So you just hold it with your tool. And I do these.
That's fun.
I've got a set of mugs, which I've done this, so this will be matchy. Yeah. So I promise you, while I'm trimming, I'm thinking, how am I going to glaze it? You know, am I going to use slip? Yeah. Maybe decal. But I just like doing that. The glaze that I love sitting in here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now I'm gonna, I think we'll probably practice pulling handles. I'll check and see my handles, but I think they're still a bit wet. So you can't put a wet handle on here. You have to kind of, so that's why I normally pull all my handles, then come and do my trimming. If I've got a lot, I keep them covered. Yeah.
So Vivian, you said you had a little bit of clay there and you said, I'll fix that. How are you gonna fix it?
Well, I'll probably take a tool. Yeah, see, I don't want that. So I would take that off. Also, when I put the handle on,
put it on
Probably
that
put,
side.
I normally look.
Good place for the handle.
Nail mark, you know, and I put the handle on there. So some of you, if you've thrown, you know, a bit off center, you'll go, I'm gonna put it there. It's all nice and fat. Yeah, so take it off with a needle and then the sponge. It catches, probably because I put too much clay on. Some people don't even put clay on, you know, to hold it. I do. I don't want it falling off. I'll sort that out. Yeah, needle works really well. Don't try and do it with your nails. Just take it off. Yeah. Always switch your wheel off. Do you know how many times? I've done it a few times, but by mistake, the next one, your thing flies off here. It's most embarrassing. You just hope, you know, like when you fall, you hope no one saw you. Same.
It's also discouraging after you've done all that work.
Yeah.
You're throwing and trimming and then.
And you got it centered, you've got it here, you're so proud of it. The thing just flies off. I know, it's horrible. So switch it off. Yeah. Okay. So now, those of you who would like to know how to pull handles, and you've got to be patient. You have to want to do it. You can roll a slab and cut out handles. That's what John does, you know, and then he shapes them. You can buy tools, cut your handles. You can roll a coil and flatten it, okay? Like you made a really nice one. There was a coil, your handle. But if you really want good handles, pull them. Okay, it's so easy. You don't waste much. You pull it a little bigger than what you need, you know, and then I'm going to show you how to position it. Yeah. And that's probably why I'm not scared to make mugs or jugs, pitchers. I put handles on little bowls. You can put a handle on a lid. If you trim the knob off by mistake, you can just put a handle on it. So there are quite a few things you can use handles for. Sheila was here. Where's she gone?
She went out the door.
Oh, she does like curvy handles. Well, if you pulled them, you know, and when they're nice and wet like that, you would shape them and then put them down. So a lot of people pull handles and then they have them lined up on their wedging table. It's also to let them dry. I just put them on a board with paper and then I don't even have to shape them. You'll see. They know who's boss. Yeah.
So when I can't make one, I'll call you and say, hey boss, make it for me.
Yeah, and if I'm around, I'll always remind you, you know. But if you are interested, we have buckets, which you need the water. I'm going to demonstrate it again, the pulling of the handles. Then if you want to practice, and then as soon as my handles seem dry enough, I'm going to put them on. Okay. And then those of you who need wedging instruction, we can do that as well. See, it's just, you have to refresh all the time. You forget. That thumping of the clay drives me round the bend. And you know, I want you to bear in mind that slip casting can hear everything. So if you're going to thump the clay, do it here. Over there, I used to be working there, and it was just like huge noise. But I knew what it was. So you should be wedging.
Just hate it.
It's noisy, hey?
It's right on that.
Yeah, it's
same wall.
right there. So you should be wedging. So yeah.
I don't
And
think
it's-
people are thumping it to wedge it. I think they're thumping it to flatten get it thin enough
Yeah,
to run
maybe.
through the,
Oh, maybe. But it's noisy.
oh, yes. Makes me crazy.
I'd
too.
rather put it on the floor, maybe, in the bag.
Oh, in the bag.
I'm just being considerate for them next door. You know, I used to be cleaning the sink and like, gosh, it's noisy. Yeah. And no sudden movements. I'm pulling, it's called pulling handles. I'm pulling with this part of my hand all the way down. Water. And I'm not thinning it yet. Yeah.
Be stronger? Does that strengthen, bring the molecules? and
No,
make that
just
better?
pulls it down. That's all. It's not doing anything to the clay. And then some people like a nice round, but I like it thinner here, so I use my trusty thumb. Look how beautiful that is. Look at it. And that's how you thin it out. I know, I just love doing this. I can't begin to tell you.
Turn it so we can see how you thinned it out.
Yeah. I use my thumb.
I know.
Oh, it will. Put it one side, it's all right. And then you cut it off. That's it. And then when I put these on, I want the rounder part, but you can have the flat. You can also put 2 fingers, but you know what? Just learn how to do it. Okay. And you're trying to get it consistent size. See, if these are for a cup, that's going to give me plenty, all right? So keep rounding it, pulling it down. You're definitely pulling the clay. No sudden movements as you'll chop it off. Who can make these handles? You.
I haven't in a long time, but I could.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you see, it's very cute of you. You don't know what you're missing out. Okay, so
And once you
take your
start,
thumb and you take it down like that. That thins it out. And then by doing that, you're smoothing it. So thinning and smoothing. I've never been able to do the 2 fingers. But I think if you've got a really big picture, you know, you would have room to do that.
What do you mean by 2 fingers?
You take 2 fingers and go
Oh,
down.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if you
Yeah.
meant front and back.
Whereas I'm only using my thumb. Yeah. So another one? So that's why you want to start with at least 2 pounds. Because you're doing okay.
I have a bubble.
Yeah, and you have people watching you too.
I know.
It's really good. Okay, I would have wedged my clay. I believe in wedging. Not everyone does.
Even fresh clay that's right off the pack?
Always wedge. Again, I use it to think, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
How many mugs am I going to make? Yeah.
and you get to feel
Yeah.
how it's going to respond
I like it.
to the way you're.
It's never got air bubbles, but I just wedge it briefly, then cut, depending on what I want to throw. That's okay. And so if this is reused clay, it might have air bubbles in it. So for handles, no, I would use new clay. Okay. And then I'll make a fatter one. Yeah, so run the thumb down.
Is there a point where it might be too long
Or too thin,
or too thick?
it'll break. No,
Is
the
that just a matter
length
of
is
doing it
okay.
and feeling it
The
the more you've done it?
The clay is so plastic. But if it gets thin, you'll feel it. So you could cut 2 handles out of this. Yeah. Okay, so now I'll try and make fatter one. Not try.
For the job, right?
Yeah. And those really accomplished, like I'm a putter, but I don't know, I'm not like, I can't throw big anymore. I could in my 20s,
Yeah.
30s. Yeah, but I just can't anymore. And I'm not joining. Sorry, not doing it. I like a putt thrown in one. Okay, I'm trying my hardest. That one. So this I want a fatter handle. Yeah, that's okay. And then you can use a tool to cut. So if I don't use this, I would gather that all together. Don't waste it, put it in a bag, you know. I've only got those to put. So what I suggest you do, those of you who want to learn, come with your clay and I'll help you. Okay. This is the, and you have to do it. You have to do it like over a bucket. I used to always stand over the sink, you know, if it wasn't too busy. Because you've got to have lots of water. And when it drops, you don't want it. I use my needle, okay? It's going to be the first attachment. And then make sure it's in line. And I love doing these.
You love everything that you do.
I do.
You say it all the time,
I
Vivian.
know, I do. It gives me great joy. Okay, I'm just going to put a bit of water in here. Okay, and I have a brush here somewhere. Yep. So I believe in slip. Some people don't. I don't know, it's the glue.
Do you ever put vinegar in it?
You can. I used to. Okay. So you just dab it on. Okay. And then choose your handle. Like this one. Okay, and then I chop quite a bit off. Then I'm going to have it this way. Thin this out. It's quite important there. You hold, you like push it on. See, I'll do it this side, then I'll do the other side just so. Push it on all the way around. Then turn your handle. See, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's not too hard. Make sure it's in line.
Is it at an angle?
What? Oh, I'm still going to tidy that up. So what I normally do is try and look over the handle to make sure it's in line. Okay, it's not really called straight. And then here, I take my trusty thumb and then cut that off. So it's just the way I've always done it. Then this is a bit thick at the top. So take your needle and I thin it out. See it? How easy is that? Now a handle, I think, should look like it's joined, comes through the pot. It's not just stuck on. Okay. I personally don't think a handle should be it shouldn't be above your lip. Because now what happens now when you want to turn them upside down? Yeah.
Put in a dishwasher. We're not.
Yeah.
No, if you turn it upside down on the shelf, then the handle
The
makes it tip
handle's
over.
gonna.
Oh, yeah.
So the handle
So-
has to be out of the way.
So I think your handle, shouldn't be in the way. I have got my sponge. And then you just take your sponge. Now sometimes when I check on my handles, if I don't normally, I would get like a thin slip and just paint it in there. Does help. Yeah. I never have handles breaking, falling off, cracking, none of that. But once I've done this, I cover them for a few days, maybe a week. I'm not in a rush. So
it's better when they dry slowly.
I think so. And upside down. Yeah.
Why?
Well, the handle hangs down. See? So it's, yeah. I just think it works really well. So it's upside down, dry slowly. And if you've got a few to do, they don't really take that long.
And you kind of keep your thumbprint kind of in it because it's a little organic. And it's,
I like that.
I
yeah.
like that too, yeah.
Or my new thing is I do little carvings of leaves. I'm always like,
If I get the handle attached to the mug, I am gonna be thankful for that much and I'm done.
right, no extras.
Exactly.
Okay. That's my nail again.
Do
Don't
you
worry.
if you wanted to change the shape, would you stuff it with plastic or something?
No. You don't like my shape? if you want it wider, just do that. The handles, I think, because you've pulled them,
They're
are a
nice
little
that
bit
have
stronger.
yeah, what the weight was.
What do you think?
Yeah, because
'Cause-
you're condensing as you're pulling.
Pulling down, yeah. So, I mean, the next handle, maybe I'll do one that's a little wider. I hear what you're saying, but no, I wouldn't put newspaper in. Like, what?
I think you would only have to do that if your clay was, for the handle was too soft.
Too soft, yeah. So you'll know when you pick that handle up, you'll go, oh, it's perfect. Promise.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you ever wax your joints?
No, I don't do that either.
What was the question?
Okay, so sometimes people wax joins or joints.
Oh.
It's so that that part dries slower.
Slower.
But no, I've never had to. Never, not for any of my handles. I promise, never. Okay, so now I'm gonna try and make like different shape.
How do you know how long? You don't measure. Do we measure? You know already. But
She's made a few.
we need to measure, right?
You could measure. So you would measure the height, and don't forget you need extra. Or otherwise you bend your handle so you have an idea. No, I know I make them long. They are a little bit bigger. I've never come up short. Isn't it irritating?
What, the fact that you never come up short?
And I just can't do it. I told you last week though how many handles I used to make. Okay,
Yes.
so now I'm gonna make, see now, to me, that handle's too big. Does that look,
Yeah, too big.
see, it doesn't look right.
Let me see.
Yes, too big.
It's a little big. So just slide it down.
Somebody big hand.
I know, no.
Too big.
Yeah, but even this is for a big hand.
Yeah. Anyway, that one's a little bigger. I've just done this for so many years. So. Don't worry, my husband will say, why don't you put that piece there for your thumb? I was like, why don't you? I mean, I don't use it, so I suppose that's why I don't worry. Here I'm just taking off the extra.
You tell him that's not where you want to put your thumb. You have a different place for putting your thumb.
Yeah.
You can do it with your thumb.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I meant. You're a bad person.
Okay. Yeah. I think the main thing is to make sure the handle is straight. Every now and again, mine's a bit off. Yeah.
Me too.
That's quite normal. And smooth it in, because remember what I said, your handle should be part of your pot.
Like it's growing out.
Like it's growing out of it. Yes, Babette. See,
I know,
you
don't
can
like my
relate.
handles. She's told me.
I just said they're not the most beautiful.
That's tough. Whoa. It's different. She can be harsh.
But I'm watching the demo.
Good.
Getting pointers.
Good.
Good girl.
So, yeah, I don't think a handle should be over the lip. Yeah,
I don't do that.
all right. And
Saved.
I know, I'm trying to stop that.
It's really hard.
but I'll still check on these. I cover them, put my name on. And, like that one's not
Should I get
perfect.
your other cup?
Okay, let's do the big one. Okay, with the spout, it's a little bit different. You could use a ruler. Otherwise, I just take my needle and mark it. So I'll show you. I still believe in scoring. So if you take the needle over the spout, is that in the center? Is it off a bit?
Off this way.
Over it. This way, you see. Okay, I'll just make it a bit bigger. And then I'm gonna put the handle here, above the rings. Just look. You can see this is a demo, because I've got like bits all over and. Okay, check the nice fat one. I'm just gonna thin this one out. Okay, so I have it in place, all right? And then I'm gonna, just because it's hard, because, okay, that looks better. Just so you can see what I'm doing. Don't like them too big. So often these jugs, I give them as gifts, as a vase more than a
Sure, for
pitcher.
flowers.
Yeah, put flowers in. Or I have them sitting in my kitchen.
When do I pick mine up?
Or I put like my wooden spoons in. So
Yeah.
I love jugs. I don't sell very many. I don't think people use them. I know.
It just look easy. It's not really easy.
It's not.
It will.
If you're slow and gentle,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a problem.
Just nice to make something and then actually finish it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that. I mean, the throwing is fun, but like you want to see.
I like the way everything is so round.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you can always like, but I don't think you need paper in there, really. It needs to sit like that and dry. Oh, and when you put it in a bag and on the board, try and put your handles in. I've learned this trick, because people come along and they love feeling your pots. And then they feel your freaking handle. So put your handles in, okay? These are all my big studio tips. Okay.
Vivian, there are some people who'd like to see you wedging clay.
Okay. I'll go get my clay. Cool.
Vivian.